muckers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I'm super excited for today's video. I'm about to film a bunch of drama videos which are going to be uploaded like after this video. So if you're seeing this one and this is not what you want, don't worry, I have drama videos coming later. I'm going to be working on them, but it has been such beautiful weather here in Brighton recently, and I love going on morning walks now, and I thought I would take you on my morning walk today because I used to do this all the time whenever I was in Derry, and whenever I moved to Brighton, it has not really been good weather until now, so let's take advantage of it and let's go out. So I'll show you from my balcony first, and then we will hit the town. So, this is what it looks like right now. So yeah, this is the view from the balcony, and let's go for a walk. Hi muckers, so I'm down by the beach now. I don't think I'm allowed at the area that I am at right now. So I'm literally down by the water, and if you don't know anything about Brighton, it has this long ass beach that goes from way down Hove, which is like another part of Brighton, and then goes all the way down to the marina. So it's like really long, so really long stony beach. But where I walked to, which is more on the right side, or the left side actually. Left, yes. I was really bad at school. Down here they're doing construction work, so a lot of the boardwalk was like closed off, but someone has very clearly kicked down the surrounding things that are stopping people coming, and there was no one down at this side of the beach, and my ass just went, yep, so I'm down here now. But I need to talk to you. Okay, so I want your advice on something. So I live in an apartment block, and there is like, I would assume at a minimum like 200 people that stay in the apartment block. And a couple days ago, I had a letter come to my post box, because you know, like you have like a post room, like a mail room. And the letter basically was from the police. So I got a letter from the police, and it was addressed to everyone. Whenever I opened it, I was like, shit, what have I been caught doing on like a night out? I'm kidding. And am I? And so I read the letter, and it's like, the police are now involved because someone or somebody is stealing people's packages that are arriving because they get left at basically the door. Now, it's protected. It's like the only people who have access to it are people who have like an apartment in there. And so I read it, and I was like, that's weird. Like, who's stealing people's packages? And then last night, I had a moment of realization where I was like, wait, I haven't been getting my Amazon packages. Like, I order a lot on Amazon, and it's not like really fun things. It's like I order like stuff for the dogs, I order stuff for the cats. I order like a lot of like my kitchen roll, toilet roll. This is really boring, but I order a lot of my like household stuff in bulk on Amazon, because it saves me a lot of money. And it's kind of easier than just going out to the shop. Like, I have no problem going out grocery shopping, but like bringing it back to my apartment is so much work. So I do a lot of that on Amazon. And so I have a lot of things coming in, so I'm not necessarily keeping up with what isn't coming. But yesterday was a very hot day. It's been really hot in Brighton recently. And I was sweltered in my apartment, and I was like, oh, I'm so stupid, why haven't I bought a fan? And then I was like, damn it, I'm gonna go out and get one. Because at this stage, Bonnie, who's my dog, who's a French bulldog, she doesn't react well to the heat. She's not used to the heat, so whenever it gets really hot in Brighton, it gets really hot at my apartment because I'm at the sea and I have a big window open, so it heats up the apartment really quickly. So I was like, fuck, like Bonnie's like starting to overheat, and I have like an ice mat for her, but like she just wasn't liking it, and I was getting really nervous, and I was like, why haven't I bought a fan? Like, I'm like air conditioning, like I'm aware that this happens in Brighton. And then I went, all right, I'm gonna go out to get one. So I put my shoes on and I got ready to go out the door. I went down on the lift of my apartment, and then I realized I've actually bought a fan. And I haven't just bought a fan, I've actually bought 3 fans on Amazon that were really powerful, because I wanted one that would, you know, do well in the apartment, one that would be great for Bonnie, and then one for maybe one of the bedrooms. So these fans were like expensive because they were quite big, if you know, like big fans. They were, no, not, they were, I'm thinking of the watts or whatever it said on it. They were £45 each, so like $55. I bought 3 of them, and I'm like, oh, I never got them. Like, maybe Amazon like tried to deliver it and I wasn't in, because you know sometimes that'll happen. So I check on my thing, and I'm like, I ordered these like quite a bit ago. I ordered them on St. Patrick's Day, which was the 17th of March. So they were going to arrive on the 17th of March because I ordered them like during the early hours of the morning, so it was like prime delivery. which is so dangerous, by the way. Anyone else so dangerous with Prime delivery? Can't control myself. So I click on it and it says delivered to resident or something. It's like handed over to resident. And I'm like, well, I wasn't in all day on the 17th. I literally was out all day because it was St. Patrick's Day and me and my friends were like bar hopping and then going to a club. So I was not in my apartment at all during the 17th. So I was like, okay, maybe, you know, it was put somewhere. So I go down to the mailroom and there's always packages like that are there because sometimes people will go away or they're out of town and, you know, it kind of builds up. No, turns out it was delivered to the apartment block and someone stole it. So what's really funny about the full fucking story is I got a letter from the police that was basically saying that they're trying to figure out who has been stealing the Amazon packages. And I was like, oh, that's, you know, like that sucks for whoever that's happening to. And then a day later I realized that someone has been stealing my ones because on top of that as well, I had ordered a bunch of dog supplies maybe a month ago and they never showed up, but it says delivered to resident. And then 3 weeks ago, or no, that was 3 weeks ago was whenever I was getting the other stuff. I ordered gym stuff. I ordered gym headbands, wristbands, like tracksuit bottoms and like shirts and just different like sweat-proof things for the gym. Lo and behold, it says delivered to resident. So someone has been beeping the Amazon delivery person into my apartment and taking my stuff. So my question is, I don't know how to address it with the landlord and the property manager. I really don't know how to go about it because I feel like if I say something to them like, oh, my packages have been getting stolen, after they sent a letter to me basically asking was I taking other people's ones. So I feel like if I tell them about it, they're gonna be like, oh, he's just trying not to be suspicious, because they are like apparently launching a fucking investigation. That's what that letter said. But so many of my packages have genuinely been taken, and I really don't know if it's someone like just taking them into their apartment to like look after them to then give me. Maybe I wasn't in, they beeped in, but then they never give them to me. And it's starting to get really ridiculous because it's like, if I'm not in for my delivery now, 9 times out of 10, it'll probably be taken. So I don't know what to do. Muckers, what do you think? How do I address that with my property managers? Because I go through my property managers and then they let my landlord know. But I think this is more of like a property issue than a landlord issue with my apartment. I don't know how to address it, but I really, really, really do need to, because I've had quite a decent amount of money basically just taken now. And it's really starting to get really fucking annoying. But whenever I saw that letter, I was like, shit. And then whenever it clicked with me a couple days later, because I was like, oh my god, what if someone starts taking my stuff? And then I'm like, people have. So I don't know. I would like to say that I don't think anyone would do that, but I don't know anyone who lives there. They don't know me. You know what I mean? As equally, I could be taking their shit, they could be taking mine. I'm not taking their shit. I'm not interested in it. The funniest thing about it is there have been a couple times where people's packages will get left off at my like door, and they'll be like, they weren't in, which is so weird, like for an Amazon delivery person to do, because there is a mailroom. But I will literally, before the night is up, go to that person's apartment, and I normally will not hand it over to them. I'll put it on their door and I'll put a letter with it and I'll just knock and walk away, because I really don't want to talk to them. But it's like, for fuck's sake, like if someone has been getting my packages and isn't doing that with me, like that's just a rude thing to do. And it's like, living in an apartment, like it's so easy for people to be able to take your shit who live in there. You know, there's not an issue. If someone doesn't live in my apartment, they're not gonna get in. You need like 2 sets of key cards. But for someone who lives in the apartment to do it, the fucking audacity. So I don't know how to address that conversation. I'm nervous, but I need to do it because I keep having my shit stolen. Anyways, I just want to know how you would go about that conversation, because it needs to happen. Also, the weather has been great. It has been so fucking amazing in Brighton. As you can probably see, the sun is like right in front of me right here. And by the way, it is currently, I think 9 a.m. or something like that. I actually woke up today at 6 a.m. I've weirdly fixed my sleeping schedule. I just stopped going out. I like stopped going to like clubs and bars for like a week or 2 weeks or something like that. And once I stopped doing that, my sleeping schedule just reverted back to healthy again. So I've been going to bed at like 11 p.m. and waking up at like 6 a.m. Like, I hate to say it, I'm fucking boring again. There was a period of time where I used to have this like great routine, and then I like slumped on it and I would like sleep in until 3 p.m. Like, I was living like that for quite some time. And I feel like whenever I try forcing things, like I'm like, oh, I've got to fix my sleeping schedule, or I've got to get my life back in order. I feel like when I put pressure on it, it never works. But whenever I don't put pressure on it, it happens naturally. So all I'm saying to you is, if you're in a rough patch right now, I was for literally like all of January, most of March, or most of February, I mean. Don't force trying to get out of it. Just as awful as it is, just try to live through it, and just randomly things will start coming together again, and you'll start feeling normal again, and you'll start feeling like, okay, you know, I can do this today. And it's, you know, taking things gradually and stuff. And so for me, it was a period of not feeling good about myself, and a period of feeling like I needed to constantly be out with people, or be constantly going to cafes, or constantly going out for dinner, or constantly going to the club or something, because I was getting the worst FOMO whenever I wouldn't go. So I just let myself feed into that for a while, and then eventually I was kind of like, you know what, I'm over that. And then it took me like a week in bed, and then I started slowly doing little tasks. You know, don't force yourself to do everything all at once, because if you do that, you will burn yourself out, and you'll also just overwhelm yourself. So like per day, like on like day one, I would like clean my bathroom, and I got my bathroom, I'm trying to reach the ocean. I got my bathroom like I got my bathroom completely clean, and that was like day one. And then day two was I did a big grocery shop online, so I wasn't going out anywhere, but it was something that I'd been putting off for so long. So I got that done, and then the next day I had cleaned the bedrooms completely. The next day I started cooking dinners for the first time ever, and I don't mean just like in a couple months, I mean I never cooked myself dinner ever. And then I got my air fryer, and I was super excited about that, and I still am. And then I started baking the next day, and it like slowly you'll start to get back on your feet. So listen, little bit of advice, do not rush it, because if you rush it, you will just overwhelm yourself, and you'll probably put yourself back way more than what you would put yourself forward. So that's what I have to say to you. So I'm coming to you now hold on, I really just want to hit that water. Damn it, hold on, I really want to hit it. Almost, I'm like getting almost. Do I need a different size rock? Oh, this one's gonna be it. Slay, I got it. Alright, I feel fine now. So yeah, I just want to let you all know that like coming out of this time of year, we've had this conversation before, is intense, and I feel like we're talking about it more and more as more we experience it throughout our lives. You know, the winter blues are real, to put it quite easy terms. And you know, we're in spring now, or we're almost in spring, and you know, the clocks are back what they were, and you know, the sun isn't gonna go fucking black at 3 p.m. anymore, and we're gonna have longer nights, and then we're approaching summer. And I know a lot of people's favorite time of year is spring. A lot of my friends' favorite times of year are spring, so we're entering that now, and there's just so much to look forward to. And I really feel like the past few days of sunshine have completely changed my attitude. And you know, one thing I will say as well, while we're on the topic of kind of like mental health, it was sunny for the past maybe week here in Brighton, and for the first 2 days of it, I didn't want to leave my apartment. I was still kind of in a slump, and I would sleep like the entire day, and I would feel the sun on my skin, and I would sleep through it, and then I would wake up at nighttime, and I wouldn't feel so great. And then on like the third day, I did a me day. I went out by myself, I got coffee, even just going for a walk. I went for a walk, I took the dogs out, and the sun on my skin at that day, it was like for like maybe an hour or 2 hours, felt so good. And I had so much energy at night because I felt, bitch, we're getting the vitamin D finally. And so the past few days, like I have been outside for so much, so I apologize for there hasn't been that many drama videos on my channel recently. I mean, for the past like 3 days. It has been, the past 3 days have been so sunny, and it has been so good for me to be outside and to like be outside, I guess. It has done a world of good for me. So one thing I will say to you is, you know, some days whenever it's a really good weather outside, it seems super overwhelming to go outside, and that like shouldn't be a weird thing at all. I think it's very normal. You know, you have to get ready and you have to, you know, go outside. What are you going to do? And are you going to get bored? And what should you bring with you? And oh, there's so many different things, even with just a simple task like that. So again, don't force yourself, but I really would advise, not to sound like a school counselor, but it does so good for just your mind whenever you're out and it's sunny, or it's good weather, or it's dry, or, you know, something like that. It just kind of, you know, you're breathing in and breathing out, and I think it just is so underrated. I think it's so underrated. So, yeah, it's just been beautiful recently, and that has been why I haven't really uploaded in the past couple days. I've just been resetting, and it's been great, and I think that can apply to anything, honestly. You know, recently I've kind of had conversations with people about, you know, sometimes you need resets from, maybe a reset is going outside, or maybe a reset is staying inside. You know, there's so many different things. It can go with relationships, with partners. Maybe you need a reset just a couple days by yourself, or friendships. Maybe you need a couple weeks, you know, of just doing your own thing. Like, there are so many things that I've just been coming to the conclusion of recently that have been doing so good for kind of like my head, my mind, and it has just been just balance and taking things easy and not forcing things and knowing your limits and knowing moderation. And for me recently, that has been coming outside, and it has been seeing my friends, but it has also been not seeing my friends. And I don't mean that in a selfish way, and I'm not even going to apologize for saying that, and I don't think you should apologize if you're, you know, taking me time and stuff like that. I think recently for me, I've been seeing my friends a lot, so I've also been making the effort to do days where I'll just be by myself. I'll take myself out to coffee. I'll do the things that I would do with my friends by myself. And you know that sitting with yourself, being in your own company, you will come to so many conclusions that will do you so good. And even if they're intense in the moment, they will all plan out. So I don't know why I'm like on this like lecturing journey. I really don't mean it to be like that, but I just want to let you know, like, the start of the year for me was not my favorite ever. It was not my favorite. And I feel almost 10 times better now than when I felt even before I had that long breakdown. Because I've just taken my time, and I didn't force myself to get out of my breakdown. I didn't force myself to get out of a certain mindset, and it has just worked. It has worked. So anyway, I'm doing this today because I wanted to sit and talk and catch up with you, and I had been feeling like that for the past couple months, and I had briefly talked about it, and I just want you to know, like, how I felt then. Like, I know that I was able to get out of that. I know we're able to get out of anything. If you're feeling shitty right now, you are able to get out of that. If you're overwhelmed by friendships, by relationships, by work, by even just your hobbies, by spending me time, maybe if any of that is overwhelming, it will all just like come together again. It really will. It has in the past, and it will again. And you can get distracted in the moment, and the only reason I'm saying that is because I get distracted in the moment, and it really does just, it all comes together, and it's great. It's great. I've taken my glasses off because I wasn't seeing just how blue the sky is, so I am seeing it now. There's a lot of people like tents up on the beach right now, so I assume people are like camping, which I think is, they have like signs that say like no camping, but I've been seeing like families camping, and like they're going fishing and stuff like that, which is really cute. The last kind of thing I do want to talk about is anyone else finding it almost confusing going back into the world as like normal again? And I don't know if that doesn't make any sense, so I will explain. Basically, I think in the UK now, there are no restrictions on anything to do with the big C. And, you know, the first few weeks of that, I think, were super exciting, and it was like, oh my god, we can go back to clubs again, we can go back to bars, we can go to restaurants, and we're not like strictly like 6 people, you know, on the table. Or I can travel home without having to do a COVID test. Like, I can go to Ireland without having to do a COVID test. And it just all has been dropped. There's no masks. anymore on like public transport. And you know, for the first bit it was like, oh my god, we're like going back to how it was. But I feel like the longer it happens, the more it's been equally as confusing for me. And I'm saying this because I want to know if anyone else feels any way similar. I do have to put my glasses on, it's quite glary actually. But what I mean by it is, we were living in it for so long, and we are still living in it, which is why it's confusing that it just feels normal again. And I guess wherever you are in the world, please let me know like what the restrictions are and stuff like that. But over here, there's absolutely nothing. There's nothing, and it's like, I particularly, okay, I'll give you like where I'm at with it. So I wear a mask when I'm on public transport, and 9 times out of 10 I'm the only one wearing it, and you will get weird looks. But I just feel like I wouldn't want to go on public transport without a face mask anymore. Like, I would never want to ever go on an airplane without wearing a mask anymore. Like, even if I'm taking it off to drink or whatever, like, I would like to just keep it on. I have been super, like, germy in the past, where I was always wanting to wear a mask even before this all happened. I saw different parts of like Asian cultures where you know, they would wear the face mask out in the street and stuff, and I always said to my parents that I always wish that that was normal over in like Western society, because it just is such a great idea. And so I love wearing masks on public transport, and whenever I'm out, you know, I go to clubs and I go to bars and there's no masks there or anything like that, and that is more normal for me now because it's been months and months. But just seeing people on public transport again, like really packed. I was in London, and really packed underground systems, like the underground tubes. No one's wearing a mask except for me and maybe like one elderly person, and it just kind of feels like it all came to a halt without us all coming to like an agreement. And listen, I'm not saying that I want us to live in restrictions forever, because trust me, I'm really not. It's just kind of like we were living in it for so long, on and off and on and off, and it just kind of feels like, all right, so is this the final time? Like, is this the final time that we're not gonna have to, you know, go back to that again? I don't know. It's just been weird, like seeing everyone on like crowded buses and stuff not wearing masks. And I'm not saying people have to, because, you know, at this stage the government aren't telling people to, they're telling them actually not to wear them, and so it's people's prerogative. I just feel more comfortable wearing one. It just feels weird. I feel like there were so many lockdowns and so many restrictions, and it was on and off and on and off, and I feel like we were always in agreement, and then now it just kind of all stopped. I don't know. I think it's, you know, it is what it is, but I want to know what your take on it is. By the way, this is what I mean. The packages will be put here. So there's a bunch of packages to the left, but I'm not going to record them in case there's any addresses, but they're literally always put here. And someone's taken them. Alright, so back in the apartment now, and I went to Starbucks and I got one of the little cups. It's like so cute. It's spring. Normally I'm not into that like kind of stuff, because it just is like I lose them, I'm gonna be honest with you. And I know that Emily D. Baker, if I would assume that a lot of you know Emily. Emily is a fantastic content creator on this platform. I know that she loves collecting Starbucks cups, because I always see her, you know, like in her streams, like talking about it or whatever. So I tweeted her and was like, Emily, I got one. So I texted her as well and was like, look, so I got an iced latte with oat milk and 2 pumps of vanilla. Normally I'll go for a cold brew, but apparently that's only in summer, and that's like my go-to drink, so this will suffice, but let's see if it's good. Pretty good. It's a blonde, oh, that's actually really nice. It's a blonde roast. They know me in there because I go most mornings. I try not to go to Starbucks a lot because I like going to independent places, but Starbucks is really close to me, and so I kind of sometimes will just go most mornings. And then if I go into town, I'll always make sure not to go to Starbucks, even though there is one like every single rotation. By the way, I'm sorry for continuing this. Like, I really just don't want to stop talking to you right now, so this is gonna be really long, and I don't know if anyone's gonna watch it, but you know what, I really just want to catch up and talk. So yeah, anyway, they were like, Adam, like, you need to try the blonde roast instead of the regular roast because it has more caffeine, and we were like, and we know that you love that, and I was like, you know me. So that was great. Okay, so I showed that little clip of where the packages are put. Now, in the same way of me telling you this, like, okay, please don't misconstrue what I'm saying, because I want to be able to like tell you everything that happens without consequence. So the without consequence here is that I'm not bashing my apartment place at all. They are incredible. So the only reason I'm saying this is because I don't want this to be like, they have no control whether if people are taking packages or whatever. And maybe people think that it's their package and then open it and be like, oh, this is Adam McIntyre, so let me just fucking take it or whatever. The apartment place that I live in, first of all, one of the most gorgeous apartments I've ever seen in my entire life, number one. Number two, the landlord has been nothing but nice. Actually incredible, because he, you know, approves of, you know, Bonnie. And stuff. So, and then the apartment manager, who I would talk to frequently, they are the most helpful, like, talented people within the space. And this is not me blowing smoke up their ass. This is me just saying that as much as what I'm saying, I'm complaining about that I want my parcels and like someone is taking them who lives here. It's nothing on the actual apartment or apartment managers, because they got the police involved. They're doing everything they can. They're doing great. And I haven't even let them know yet that my ones have been taken. So I don't want this to be misconstrued in any way. So for me, I want to be able to tell you things like my bestie without consequence. Because you know you tell your bestie everything and like without consequence. So that's what I'm saying in this instance. But dog, I would just like my... Gomez! This little fucking fuck keeps escaping. And Gomez, get in. Oh my god, he's gone. He's not gone forever. He just is going into one of my bedrooms right now, and I really don't like Gomez in my bedrooms, because if you're a cat owner, you know that they have... Tyler, we're not gonna all start. Hold on, I'm gonna go get Gomez and then I'll tell you why. Okay, I got him. Okay, the thing is, I'm very flexible with animals. You're all aware. However, I like keeping my bedroom at least as like the one place that is not reminiscent of animal hair. So that is, you know, what I'm dealing with right now. So that's why I don't like, so he always keeps trying to go. Okay, also clothes here, mess here. We're used to it. We're used to it. Are you gonna tell me that your house, your apartment is clean 100% of the time? I washed my floors yesterday. I've been taking out my like bin bags and stuff. I've been doing well. I did my laundry yesterday. I cleaned my dishes yesterday. Like, there's a lot. And living alone, you have to do all that by yourself. I don't, you know, I'm not like influencers who have cleaners and stuff like that. Like, bitch, I'm doing it myself, like everyone else. Like us fucking normal folk. So I am in the process still of cleaning, and people always be like, oh my god, you always say you're in the process of cleaning. Because yeah, if you're gonna tell me that you clean every single day, and then like that's you don't have to clean for like months, fuck off. No, I have to clean every single day. I have to clean every single day. And if you have pets, you have to clean every single day. And me living by myself as well, like I have to clean every day. I have to clean up off my own shit. So I hate more than anything people who are so, what's the word, like self-righteous about like how great they are at being an adult. I'm not. And I bet that if there's at least 1,000 people watching this video, I would bet that 500 of you would not say that you're a self-sufficient, like 100%, you know, adult. Because we all have our things that we struggle with in being independent. For some people, it's, you know, cooking. For some people, it's cleaning. For some people, you know, there's different things whenever you have your own place. And I know a lot of you out there are parents and you have children to look after, and then some of you are parents and also have animals, and it's like, I don't know how you do it. I'm like, I also saw someone talk about like, how do you, I have no idea where I was going with that. I have no idea where I was going with that. Also, I briefly talked about this on a video on my second channel, but St. Patrick's Day, was, you know, that happened recently, and I was celebrating for the first time with a bunch of English people, and it's really funny how much English people will show their like adoration, is that the word, you know, their love for Irish people on one day of the year. I've never felt so loved in my entire life. And then March 18th hit, wait, is St. Paddy's Day 18th or 17th? I think it's 17th. And then March 18th hit, I was thrown to the curb again. So yeah, but it's really interesting because the two ways that England and Ireland celebrate St. Patrick's Day are so different from each other, but so similar at the same time. So it was funny. I have been, you know, creating new traditions, you know, being away from home and celebrating St. Patrick's Day, which is always a big thing that I would do with like my family and friends back home. But it's exciting. It's not, I don't think it's a sad thing. I think it's really cool. I'm like, this time next year, St. Patrick's Day, I'll most likely still be in Brighton. Actually, I will still be in Brighton. Because by the way, like if you're renting like the way I am, like I'm doing 6 months, so I actually I'm in the next few days actually going to pay to renew my apartment, which I hate doing, because I have to pay 6 months up front still. So it's like a 6-month payment of rent comes out of my bank account, and like it's enough to make you cry. It's enough to make, so anyway, but that comes out of my account, and I have no idea where I was going with that. Oh, I do. So it'll be renewed from April to April, June, July, August, September, October-ish, and then I'll have to renew from October to, you know, April. So yeah, 6 months by 6 months. I have been asked by my like landlords to like sign up for 12 months in the past, but I feel like if I was to commit to 12 months, I feel like by month 2, even if I've been living here all that time, like I feel trapped, I can't get out. So I like doing 6 months by 6 months. If you're renting, if you don't mind me asking, what's your contract? I know a lot of my friends live in 3-month contracts, actually. A lot of them are students, so, you know, they're so, like, I don't know the way of describing it. Like, student accommodation is so come and going. Like, a lot of my friends have been in, like, 4 different houses, and they're on their 3rd year, you know what I mean? Like, per year, you just kind of, like, change into, like, different accommodations and stuff like that. Actually, my friends are moving right now, and I think that's their 4th house that they're moving into. And they love it. They love it. They love moving around. It's, like, exciting for them. I'm like, oh my god, I feel like I get so emotionally connected to places, to things, to people, that I would have the worst time with that, I think, like, moving around that much. And I feel like that's, you know, do you remember whenever I was going to move into the house, like, the house is still, you know, mine. We'll not get into that. But I just wasn't ready to move into it. I wasn't ready to move into it. And whenever it was like the decision to move fully into the house, or, you know, wait, I had to drop the apartment to be able to do that. So now the house is still there, and I would have to give up the apartment. But when I lived in the house for like 2 months, I got COVID in it. I associate it with that, and then also on top of that, there was a couple like security things that made me uneasy in the house, and it wasn't worth it for me to stay in it. I was miserable. I was really miserable. I felt so unsafe, because whenever you have a house, it is a lot more different than living in an apartment, because in an apartment, like, if there's a problem, I can call my landlord. If I feel unsafe, like, there's apartment security. Whenever you're in a house, it's different, and I just don't feel like I'm at the stage to do that. And it's like, I've lived, I've learned, I've made mistakes, I've made not smart money decisions. I've made a lot of them, actually, and I don't know, I feel like I'm really getting into it with you right now. My parents are gonna be upset with me. But no, I just mean, like, I've been so, like, I feel like I've been so, at times, irresponsible with my money, and then at times I've been really responsible with my money. I feel like I'm so responsible with my money nowadays, and I feel like whenever I first started making money on YouTube, it was my first ever job. I had never worked before, and I was loving what I was doing so much. So it was just like this constant, like, cycle, and I feel like whenever the world exited lockdown, like, the world was my oyster. I'm not talking about traveling, by the way. I'm talking about, like, the situation with the house and just stuff like that. Like, I feel like I rushed into so many things. I felt like my time was running out. I felt like, I just felt like, oh, well, people are gonna stop watching me. You know what I mean? Like, people are gonna stop watching me anyway. Like, what's the appeal? Like, why will people still be here in 2 months? And that, what's the word, like, scaredness or insecurity is what it was. Very insecure. It was a case of me being so insecure that, like, I'm very clearly not better than anyone else, and I actually think that everyone else within the space is better than me. And I'm not saying that for pity, I'm just saying that in like, I don't understand how my channel, you know, ended up doing well, because I really do just think like there's so many people here doing it better than me, and I'm so grateful for it. Like I'm not saying anything like that, but my mindset for basically the entire first year of doing YouTube was that like, well, it's not going to be here next week, because like why would people still be interested in me? And like, why would, like, you know what I mean? Like, they have a huge array, if we're just speaking drama wise, of people that are doing it so much better than what I am, and I still stand by that. I'm not saying that for pity, I'm not saying that for anything, it genuinely fact, there are so many people that do it better than me. And there are people that are funnier than me, there are people that are quicker than me, like at putting stuff out, there are people that have way better editing, there are people that just like, I don't know, like that was my thing. So that kind of led me to rush into a lot of decisions, at least like 6 months ago. And I feel like I'm now at the stage where I'm like, all right, like, you know, I could drop off the face of the earth tomorrow relevance wise, but I feel like there are enough muckers out there that I genuinely speak to every single day in the comment section, that it's like, that's what my passion is. My passion was talking and making content, and it's like, above any of this other shit, whenever it becomes your job, like, that is how I look at it, and that is still how I look at it. And as time has gone on, I've been like, well, I'm still talking to all these people in the comments every single day. I'm still, you know, I recognize that face. Whenever I did the New York meet and greet, and, well, meetup, not meet and greet, and I met, like, Cara, for example, and I was like, I know you from the comment section. It just is, like, such a deeper, like, validation that, like, okay, people do care. And that was something that took me so long to get used to or understand or grasp, just because I didn't think I deserved it. And again, I understand that whenever you're listening to someone saying this, like, I'm fucking rolling my eyes, it just sounds like a pity party. I really don't mean it in that way, because I'm saying, like, how I've came out on the other side of it. It's like, I just was like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what my attitude was like with it for so long. And that's also a big reason that I worked so much on YouTube last year. Like, I work a lot now, but I mean like 10 videos a day, because I was like, oh, if I'm not putting 10 videos out a day, then people will just stop watching. Like, why would they be interested? I don't really bring much to the table other than quick videos. And as time has gone on and I've uploaded at a more normal pace, you know, if I upload like one video a week, we'll say, which I don't do, but, you know, if it was one video a week, there's still people watching that video, and I'm like, oh, like, people genuinely are here for the conversation that at least I'm providing. And then, you know, they give me their feedback, and I respond back to them. And once I've started having that mindset, which has been probably since October of last year, I've just enjoyed it almost more than whenever I first got into it, like June, July 2020. And I'm telling you the God's honest truth with that. And it has been like, finally, like, I feel like I've been working towards this moment in doing YouTube where I finally feel at peace with it, rather than trying to make the most amount of, like, money, or trying to make the most amount of views. Like, I think that's very apparent in how little I post these days, because I'm doing it now because I would much rather make a long video that, like, we can all have a conversation on, than, you know, posting so many a day. And here's the thing, I love what I do. So some days I'll wake up and I'll be like, oh, I have nothing to bring today, and I won't film. And then other days I'll wake up and I will post 6 videos a day, and then the next day I'll post 1. You know what I mean? Like, it's so, to me, I never look at it like a job. Maybe I should. I never have. If you know, I have an accountant so that I'm doing my taxes and stuff. And that's the only, like, professional side of what I do. And even with that, like, I like being so far removed from that conversation, because for me, they're like, so what's your 9-to-5 schedule? And I'm like, I just do it for fun. Like, I just will, like, post a video maybe a week talking to my friends, or maybe I'll post like 10 a day talking to them. Like, that's really my attitude towards it. And I feel like if I looked at this like a job, I would be so, like, at least 1 a day, you know what I mean? Or like at 5 p.m. every single day. And it's like, I really don't think I have it in me to ever look at YouTube like a job. I don't know. At least right now I don't. And I'm glad because it just allows me to feel like I'm diary spilling every single day. Like I'm writing down and then just like flashing you my diary. So that's kind of my attitude, and it has been so great. And I mean, a lot of, you know, creators recently have been speaking about like burnout and stuff like that. And I don't feel like I've ever like properly had burnout. I feel like I've just had a lot of self-doubt. And I feel like that has probably been in the way of me and then being like, oh, maybe I'm really burnt out. But I feel like it was just me never believing in myself, which then never gave me energy to do anything. But I mean, that can happen in your personal life, not really your work as well. And if you're at an office job, or you're working in retail, or you're working in, you know, finance, or any of these things, you know what I mean? Or maybe you're self-employed. Like, being self-employed, I think, is a very underrated sense of, if you don't whip your ass to work, you don't have a job. And I want to ask you, if you are self-employed, what are your pros and cons to it, in your opinion? And if you are self-employed, would you rather be in a job where you have a boss that's not you? Okay, and then if you're working in a job where you have a boss, would you rather be self-employed? How do you think you would work if you were your own boss? Because I think it's been so great hearing YouTubers talk recently about burnout and feeling like they need to like force themselves to work and they have no motivation, because it's like, YouTubers mainly, whenever they're blowing up, are like 14 to 19 years old, and it's like, how are you going to give a 16-year-old the responsibility of what someone who works in the industry for 40 years to become a boss has to, you know, give the motivation to the workers to work? And the 16-year-old, 14-year-old, you know, like Charlie D'Amelio and stuff like that, if they didn't have, you know, their parents, have to do that to themselves. And it's like, it's so unrealistic. And it's like, as much as I was so disappointed that Emma Chamberlain quit YouTube, like, I saw a video of her at Playlist whenever she was like 16, and I was like, she went mega viral when she was 16. She had to do all of this work by herself when she was like 16, and she's now 20, and she's been doing it, you know, like 5 years non-stop is like her job. And it just is like, I don't know, I feel like doing it, I have like a newfound respect for people who are self-employed. And there were so many times in my life where my family members were self-employed, and I remember having conversations with them about Gomez. He will literally just ignore me no matter what tone I do. I can do Gomez. Oh, make sure both worked. I remember speaking with my dad about being self-employed and stuff like that and hearing his opinion. And I mean, I feel like anyone who's worked with a boss kind of loves the idea of being self-employed, because I remember that's what my dad said. And I don't know, I mean, I've had cousins who've been, you know, self-employed at times and they prefer having a boss. And then I've had other friends who've been in like office jobs that would rather be self-employed. And it's interesting. I would like to know your opinion with it. So let me know. I actually really am interested to see like if there's like an overwhelming majority. I'd be intrigued. Okay, so the last thing I do want to say is really brief. So my parents are coming to New York with me in like a couple weeks. I think like 2 weeks or something like that. My dad has never been, and my mom has been with me, and whenever she was a child. So it's my dad's first time, and we don't know what to bring him to. Me and my mom didn't do a lot of touristy things whenever we went. We went to Central Park, we did a couple museums, and we basically just stayed in Times Square. And I really want to know what you think that I should do with my parents in New York, like what things maybe we should get tickets to, or what museums we should do, or maybe there's like really cool like local spots, or if you've been as a tourist, or if you want to go, like what you want to do. I would really love to know, because I'm trying to work it out, because I want to have some sort of daily rotation, because I'm kind of keeping track of like 3 people per day, and my mom's gonna get so annoyed if she hears me saying that, which she will. She's like, you're not Gomez! This no noise works for him. So, by the way, he's like trying to like rip up one of my shirts. That's why anyway, Gomez he's so fun. So if you have a rag doll, you know. So my mom's like, you're not, like, stop saying you have to plan everything, but I'm trying to like do it so it goes as like naturally and we can do as much as possible. So let me know. And thank you so much for hanging out with me and spending the morning with me. I wonder what time it is, actually. I'm gonna check my phone because I have no idea what time it is. I've actually no idea where my phone is, so that's... Oh, it's here. No, it's not. Oh, here it is. It is 10:55 a.m. So, I really loved doing this, actually. This was weirdly therapeutic. So thank you for hanging out, and I will see you in my next video. I'm gonna film drama videos for today, so they're coming, don't worry, and I will see you in my next one. Bye. Mwah.